All right, and then this one, J.K. Rowling says suspension of toddler from nursery for transphobia or homophobia is totalitarian insanity. Well, she would be right about that. Author J.K. Rowling has described the decision to kick a toddler out of nursery school after they were accused of transphobia or homophobia as totalitarian insanity, which of course it is. The child, aged either 3 or 4, was suspended from a state school 3 years ago for abuse against sexual orientation and gender identity. So this was 3 years ago, I guess. Department of Education data revealed this week. Details of the specific school or case during the 2022-3 academic term were not disclosed. However, it appears that this is not an isolated case. So J.K. Rowling, or Rowling, I'm not sure which it is, but she's the author of the Harry Potter books. This is totalitarian insanity. If you think small children should be punished for being able to recognize sex, you are a dangerous zealot who should be nowhere near kids or in any position of authority over them. So that's absolutely true. So anyway, I didn't know if you guys knew about the little one who was kicked out of nursery school. Total insanity. And I think it was for not wanting to sit on the lap of a transgender person. Too scary, you know. So obviously that little kid has homophobia or transphobia. Now, I think the person with the real problem is the person pretending to be something other than they are, which of course is a guy pretending to be a girl or vice versa. So anyway, that is an MSN article, actually. A couple more articles on the whole trans thing. I thought this was an interesting thing that came up this week. Exclusive brave fencer, you know, someone who likes to fence, who refused to fight a transgender rival, reveals sickening pro-trans culture inside of the sport. So, the actual woman here, who has Turner on her left leg, let's see, her name is Stephanie Turner, is taking a knee here because she doesn't want to fight this ginormous guy who's pretending to be a woman. It says female fencer disqualified for refusing to fight a biological male opponent has lifted the lid on the shocking pro-trans culture at USA Fencing. Stephanie Turner, 31, again, her, was competing in a tournament at the University of Maryland when she took a knee and walked out of her match against the trans rival Redmond Sullivan, who was born a man. And I would add, still is a man. After refusing to compete, Turner was issued a black card by fencing officials, which suspended her from the competition. The controversial decision has sparked outrage on social media amongst users left dismayed by a female athlete being punished for choosing not to line up against a biological male. Despite the uproar, USA Fencing has issued a statement justifying its decision while supporting Sullivan, the guy, and the inclusion of trans athletes in women's sports. An exclusive interview with Daily Mail, fencing star Turner revealed she has been scared to reach out to the USA Fencing organization with her concerns given the pro-trans views of high-ranking officials within the governing body. Site name checks Damien Leffelt, Damien Leffelt, an at-large director on the USA Fencing Board of Directors who runs a blog named The Fencing Coach, has previously written a passionate defense of the inclusion of trans athletes in women's sports. So this is our actual biological female here, Stephanie Turner. So this is the hero in the story, okay? And this would be the biological male who wants to fight this actual female, and instead she took a knee and decided, no, I'm not going to fight you because you are a man. And this is the guy here. Turner says she was scared to reach out to USA Fencing official like this guy, Damien, above, because he's the guy that has supported trans activists like this in the sport. So what I really want to know is, what's on this guy's hard drives? I think we should start there. Anyways, fencing. Who'd have thought? But yeah, fencing has now been completely taken over by men in women's sports. So there you go. More of what we already knew about, I guess. But yeah, it's USA Fencing. So even though Trump came up with the executive order that basically stopped all this stuff, it's still going on. They do it anyway. They don't care. So anyways, more power to her. Hopefully she will get her situation there straightened out, and USA Fencing will become more obliged to helping actual women in the sport versus men who are just pretending that they're women. And then here's another one. This is kind of similar story. A boy rejoined the boys team, proving that trans are not banned from sports. They just have to follow the exact same rules as everyone else. So this is our friend here who is a boy pretending to be a girl. You can see the pink streaks, I guess the red streaks or pink streaks in his hair. But this is what's funny here. This is the, I guess, a cover of a website or magazine called Them, like as in they, them. Forced off of her track team, a trans high schooler in Virginia joined the boys instead. Look how deceptive that is. None of that is true. Yes, he rejoined the boys team because he couldn't compete as a girl because he was a boy. Yeah, here. Forced off her track team. We don't hate the media enough. Yeah. Kind of weird for a guy to wear a dress, but guys do a lot of weird stuff. Sounds like an accommodating team focused on merit. The boy rejoined the boys team, proving that trans are not banned from sports. They just have to follow the same rules as everyone else. Well, you'd like to think so, wouldn't you? Thought this one was interesting. UK Women's Pool Championship is so woke, there are no women in the finals. The finalists are both biological males. Makes sense to me. UK Women's Pool Championship is so woke that any representation by actual women are out of the finals. Both finalists are Harriet Haynes and Lucy Smith. They are biological males who, quote, identify as women. So the winner of the championship here, the women's championship, will be a non-woman. How does that make you feel? Lucy Smith equals man. Harriet Smith equals man. As Pinch Lynn told me today, the men are taller, longer reach, fingers bigger for a bridge when the balls are closer together. The travesty did not go unaddressed. A group of protesters showed up calling for women's sports to be saved. So that's good. So there's some hope. But this is in the UK, so I don't hold out much hope. You guys probably don't either.